I want to touch base on, because you have a lot of new people in here who are 1 year in. And JT, I'm going to call him out on this because he asked, what can old people, big dogs, teach him? And the first thing I want to let him know, and everybody else who is new to the game, is about insurance. Okay. Anybody who's been in this game for more than a year understands what I'm about to tell you. But if you don't know what I'm about to tell you, be prepared for it. Okay. So when you go and get insurance, your GL policy, if you have employees, just so we're all clear, not 1099 people or anybody who's a subcontractor and then gets hurt in California and you get fucked, right? Without
Yeah.
having comp insurance, you're out of business. But anyway, so um,
Oh, you sell your business.
is that what happened? Because it's odd, because I just looked at it today and he sold it a year ago and there hasn't been one single fucking review posted to any of his three
well,
GMBs in the last year. So
well,
if you
Russ.
sold a business with 200 fucking reviews, someone who bought that would have built that in the last year. But if you sold your business for $225,000 to someone and that person couldn't get one more fucking review in 12 months, you sold it to an idiot or you're lying. One of the two fucking happened, okay? But anyway,
Okay, so we're
insurance.
talking. I because we just bounced around, so
Yeah,
I got lost for a minute.
insurance.
We're
So
talking about
insurance.
Andrew. Andrew is what we're
Right.
talking
So
about
let's
right
get
now.
back. Let's talk
Let's
about
go to
Andrew.
insurance first. So insurance works like this. When you go get your policy for your GL, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what are your projected sales, right? 100,000. Great. Your policy is going to be written on $100,000 in revenue. How much do you think you're going to pay an employee for comp? $40,000. Great. Your comp rate is this. 1 year goes by. The insurance company is going to call you up and they're going to say, hey, Paul, thank you so much for your business. We're going to audit you. So what I need to know is I need your sales from last year and I need all of your payroll records from wherever you use. I use ADP. If anybody wants a really good rate on ADP, my rep will reach out to you. She's awesome. But anyway, so now first year, your comp policy is $1,300 and your GL policy is $2,000, right? Audit comes around. What were your sales? $250,000. Perfect, Paul. We appreciate that. Your new rate going forward is no longer $2,000 on your GL policy. It's $4,000. But Paul, you just got a $2,000 increase in the year 2025. However, Paul, we underreported last year. So now you owe the $2,000 from last year too. So your bill right now, you owe me $2,300 for last year's underpayment, and your payment going forward now went from $200 a month to $400 a month. You tell someone new who just started that and is trying to get away with minimals on on GL policies and on comp policies, and then all of a sudden they get fucking whacked with a $5,000 bill, and they're like, "What the fuck just happened?" It will cripple you. Okay. So anybody out there who has insurance policies, go to Toby Stubbs. He's phenomenal in the junk game, and ask him about what I'm telling you. An insurance audit will absolutely cripple your bank account if you do not know what one is. Okay. It is extremely important. And this has nothing to do with how to load a truck or how to put stuff in a truck or how to go to the dump. This is how you are going to have to protect your business and how you're not going to get a fine from the state or hi, come here for a second. We want to talk to you at the labor board. So that's a major thing about insurances, and anybody who's new should really soak that in, because if you've only been doing this for 9,000 or 9 months like he is, and he gets to 200, but he underreported his earnings, he's going to get a wake up call next year. It's going to happen. I mark my words, JT. I know you're watching. If you do not put money aside for that, you're going to get a big fucking shock when the insurance company comes and audits you.
But
So
how does the insurance company get to know your income or what you're making?
they can ask for your bank records. They can ask for all your bank deposits. So if they think you're lying, they can say, okay, I want your bank deposits for the last year, or I'm going to cancel you. Now, in auto insurance, most of the people who are in these groups are using their personal auto insurance. And the problem that
Hmm.
they run into with that is almost every single third party hauler, whether it's Jiffy Junk, Junk Luggers, if it's fucking Check Sammy, if there's any of those out there that are searching for people to haul for them, and they go, perfect, you're a great hauler. Can I have your commercial auto insurance? Oh, I don't have commercial. Man, you're gone. immediately. You're out. You're not going to haul for them, right? So you tried to be a cheap ass by using your personal insurance to save a couple $100 a month, but you just lost out on a junk luggers connection that's going to pull in $50,000 a year for you, or Resupply, or Habitat for Humanity, or Goodwill, or any of them. You will not be able to haul for them without commercial insurance. And everybody in the game, if you go and look, I don't letter my trucks, I don't letter my trailers. And it isn't because they don't want business, it's because they understand that as soon as you slap letters on your truck and you slap letters on your trailer, you're paying commercial insurance, and they don't want to go to Progressive and pay $15,000 a year for auto insurance on a commercial vehicle. It is the easiest way to try to save money. And when it happens, you're fucked, because if you're hauling concrete and that shit flies out and you don't have commercial insurance, you're going to have a problem, because they can take everything. Which brings me to another point. There was another point where some people think that a DBA, I don't know if Yee was on that conversation or where I heard it, about a DBA. Anybody who has a DBA, I want you to understand you have absolutely zero
Hold on.
liability
DBA
protection.
though is not a standing. It's not like an LLC or anything. All
No.
it is saying I'm
You just
doing
own a name.
business as.
Yeah, I
To
own the name.
have a DBA, you have to have an LLC
No, you don't.
before that. Well, it has to be incorporated. How would you be able to do how would you be able to do doing business as if it's not
You
a business?
file with
Then?
the county.
Simple. You file it with the county and you go to your state, you go to the county courthouse and you say, I want to see if anybody has the name A Plus Junk Removal. No? Great. I want to buy the DBA. I could do nothing with it, but it protects the name that I want to do business as. So you take that DBA, and in New York, what happens is you get the DBA. As soon as you file for the LLC, the DBA goes away, because the LLC will protect the name and nobody can steal the name. A DBA does nothing more than just make sure that nobody can go use Fuhgeddaboutit junk removal. That's it. You do not have to have an LLC in order to have a DBA.
But to do business, you do.
No.
The reason why, yes, you do, bro. That's how I run things. Yes.
Is that okay? So in New York, when I started my gutter cleaning company, I was never incorporated for 13 years. I was never an LLC for 13 years. I took the DBA. I went to the bank. They said, "You want a bank account?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "No problem. You have a bank account in A Plus Gutter Cleaning's name." There was no requirement for me to go and do it. When I started the junk removal company, I started it as an S corp because I was smarter from 13 years ago. But I can go down to the county courthouse and just protect the name for $33 in Rochester, New York. All that means is that I own the name. In New York, that's, unless that changed from whenever, I can just say from my experience, I think I might even have the paper down here, but it basically just says you're doing business as I'm the owner.
The thing that you're not getting is you're doing business as what? What business are you doing? If you just own a name. It's like trademarking a name. That's not really doing anything.
Right. So here's the thing. I can go out and I can do business as, which means that I can go out as Yee Yee's Junk Removal, because now I own the name Yee Yee's Junk Removal. The LLC part is the part that you want, because if I'm Yee Yee DBA and my trailer falls off and fucking kills Paul, who's trailing behind me, and they go, I'm going to sue your business. Oh, wait, you just have a DBA? Yeah, great. You just lost everything personally. Your house, your cars, your retirement, everything.
I understand what goes wrong. I was the one that's been, telling everybody that you shouldn't just go start off just because, somebody tells you, you can't afford it right now. You'll get around to it. Because if you go in day one and you go get in an accident and somebody dies or somebody is bodily hurt, you are done for life. And not only are they going to take what you own right now, it's what you will work for in the future will be taken from you. And I've had one of my very close friends that, have experienced that from. So that's why I'm so familiar with all that and all.
Yeah. But the
LLC as far as
will
with the
own
DBA
the name
and all that, I think that's like little technical things that we got to find out and all. But, if you I didn't even know you can have a DBA without actually having a business. But I am a person that has a business, and under that LLC, I don't want to say what business I have it on. I have Fuhgeddaboutit. That is
you own it.
The DBA. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, you can have an LLC own the name. You know what I mean? So you can do that. You can have a trust own a business. There's a lot of different ways that you can get around that, but you can just own the name as a DBA.
You just hit on something that I believe you brought up last time, and I would like to talk about that, is with the trust, putting things in the trust, the benefits of different states. Because was it you that started talking about that with Wyoming Trust, and was that you?
So So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can basically set a trust up in any state. When it comes to businesses, you can set them up in Delaware or in Wyoming in their complete anonymity. So what happens is that in order for someone, I own A Plus Junk Removal, but it's in Wyoming. I hit and kill Yee Yee. Yee Yee gets a fucking attorney, his family gets an attorney and tries to sue me. They're going to say, what assets do you own? And I'm like, I don't own anything.
Zero.
And they're like, what are you talking about? You have this truck? Yeah, I don't own it. Well, who owns it? Find it. I don't have to tell you who owns it. I don't have to tell you where it goes. All I can tell you is that, yeah, I don't own the business, right? And so then what happens is now the attorneys have to try to find it out. Now they go, well, where was this business formed? Oh, in Delaware or Wyoming. They're just going to turn around and be like, it's almost impossible for me to find out anything here because the business protections are the best in those two. Nevada is also another one that you could do, but Wyoming and them have the other thing. What you do is you start you can either do irrevocable or revocable trust. Revocable dies when you do. Irrevocable moves on when you pass away, right? Very, very, very wealthy people have irrevocable trusts because they have to have a trustee manage all the funds. They are not allowed to manage any money under an irrevocable trust. At least that is the way it's been explained to me. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know 100%, but from what I understand from talking to my dad's trust fund or trust, is that you basically don't own anything, but you get to use everything because you're a part of the trust, right? Same thing with like a revocable trust. The difference is when you own a house or any assets, when you die, if you have a trust, you bypass probate. So there's no probate courts in the middle. The trust can own the businesses, the trust can own all the cars, the trust can own all the bank accounts, they can own everything, and you own nothing. But you get to use everything. So if your trust owns a Ferrari and you want to drive it, well, fuck, I'll just drive the Ferrari that goes in there. Your life insurance policies for your kids, for anybody, if you die, that will automatically go to the trust as the beneficiary. So there's a lot of ways that you can hide money through trust funds. And then you get to keep all the assets. And it's almost impossible to get sued in a trust. Like it's almost impossible to have anything taken out because a trust is a completely separate entity from you, which is a completely separate entity from your laundromat business, which is separate from your storage unit, which is separate from your real estate, which is separate from your apartments. So the way you do it is you just separate every single thing, right? So my house is this, that belongs to the trust. This goes to that. This one house goes to that. This laundromat goes to it. So they own everything. Or they control everything, but they don't own anything, so they can't ever have it taken.
Spitting gold here, Russ. I'm very impressed, man. Definitely very impressed with all this.
Whoa.
So, I think there's so much stuff that we got to just absorb and everything. I just want to thank you for all the educational stuff that you have just spit at us, bro. I am going to go back through this and just like break everything down and take some notes on all this and all.